Welcome back, everyone, to the Carb Clinic with Dr. Hugh. I am your host, Dr. Hugh. As a disclaimer, I'm not a real doctor, I just play one on the internet. And so we welcome you back, and it is a Friday. We don't normally do our show on Friday, so we were able to get the producer here so that we can produce a show since so much is happening around us with the storms. And as you know, our whole premise for the show is to answer your questions live so you can get help for hooking up your generator, or if there's an issue with your generator, and we can help you, we will. If we can't, we'll fake it. Or we usually help people. I mean, that's our goal. So, hey, almost forgot. I am officially in. The doctor is in. So glad to have you here. And again, remember, you can ask any question on Facebook and YouTube, and we will answer your questions. Are we on YouTube? We are on YouTube. All right, so to get things started, we'll light the flame of knowledge, which is, of course, our propane-powered flame of knowledge. So usually it takes a few minutes before you start getting questions. So I thought last week we did the air rammer, which is pretty cool. And before I do that, I wanted to show you something else and the reason I talk so much about atmospheric pressure and negative pressure, and that there's no such thing as vacuum. It's a term, yes, it's used, but it's a way of explaining something with one word that really is more complicated than that. You cannot say, here's a jar of vacuum. It just doesn't exist. You can't buy vacuum. And it's in the category of like, dark is the absence of light. In other words, you can't add darkness to a room, like have a darkness flashlight. Wouldn't that be cool? And imagine bank robbers going into a bank and just turning on a dark flashlight. I guess you wouldn't call it flash. You'd call it dark dimming light or something like that. And the room go dark by removing all the light. You can't do that. So the only way to do that is to remove light. All right. So dark is the absence of light. Cold is the absence of heat. That's why it's air conditioning, not air cooling. So you can add heat to a room. That's why we have heaters. Isn't that cool? So when it comes to pressure, you can only reduce pressure or add pressure, but you cannot add vacuum to a space. Now, I'm going to prove that simply. Look here. This is a suction cup, so-called suction cup. Well, I don't like the term. This is what they use to move. I wish I had something here flat enough I could show you, but you use to move. I bet these are pretty strong little dudes. I bet I can use that to show you how it works. Squeeze that. Yeah, see? It'll hold that. Not a very good surface, so you gotta have a good surface to do that. But it shows the premise that for a while, for a second or two, the atmosphere was literally holding up that clipboard. And so, again, flat surface, you can see it, right? Oh, is it over here? Yeah, see? Nice flat surface. Now, we got another one. Samey. Big and little brother. What am I going to do? I'm going to take both of them, put them together. Hello. Now, the little handle will flex the disc so that it is exactly flat. I mean, this is what they would use to like move panes of glass. Okay, so I'm gonna flip one handle. I'm gonna flip the other handle. All right. Now, what have I done? I removed all the air in between here. And the proof of that is, remember, both surfaces are flat. So if they're exactly flat and together, there's nothing between them, right? Of course, you can't get every molecule of air out of there. But now, this is what's interesting. If you take the surface area of this side, it's right under 300 pounds of pressure. I'm sorry, it is, the surface area is right at 20 square inches times 15 pounds of atmospheric pressure. The atmosphere is literally pushing like 300 pounds against that, okay? So picture if you had this sitting there with 300 pounds of weight on it. That's how much pressure is pushing on that. But what's really interesting, if you flip it over, that also has 300 pounds of pressure on it, pushing that way. So right now the atmosphere is pushing that way and that way. You can't get these apart. Of course, if I was stronger, I could. So what's happening here? It's as if I was holding my arm and hand against the wall and you're trying to pull my hand off. So the atmosphere is saying, no, 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 because there's no pressure under there. So the atmosphere wants in. Like, I want in there. So there's the fight. So this chamber here has air in it, just like these had air between them before I started. So what do? We have a weak spot here, which is a rubber diaphragm. If Eric can show that. See the rubber diaphragm? All right, we got a rubber, I call them diaphragms, which is a diaphragm. So, and I just do this because it's fun. We're waiting for questions to come in. Do we have any at all? No. Okay, so this chamber is full of air at 15 pounds. Now, just like this so-called suction cup, I am going to remove the air out of here, not by squeezing the handle, but by using a pump that's going to pump the air out of here and up in there. And so the pressure in here will become less and less and less and less. And the atmosphere is going to try to get in there, just like it is here. And so the weakest point is this rubber. You can go back to that if you want. Yep, this rubber disc. See, that's kind of wimpy. It's actually an inner tube tire. All right, so let's start pumping some of the air out of there. See that? Oh, that's pretty far in there. I wish I had my ruler. Everybody's plugging their ears. It is loud. But this time we're going to let you see what it looks like when it blows. What are we up for pressure? Where are we at? We are 45 inches of mercury below atmosphere. And so we're going to pump out some more. Right now we're at almost 4 inches deep. That is 4 inches deep. There it goes. There's 5 inches deep. No, that's still 4. You see what my pressure's at. It pops around 60 or somewhere around there. 60 or 70. Here we go. You ready? You see how deep that is? I don't know if you kind of pan it to the camera. No, I can do it. Look, see how deep that is? Oh, there you go. You see how that's way back in here. Isn't that cool? All right. So, you ready? You're in a safety zone. Here we go. Let her blow. I guess I could do one ear. And the camera stayed there. Now, you would think the camera would have been blown away. But what happened? It did not explode, it imploded. The atmosphere pushed so hard that it finally made its way into the pipe. Isn't that adorable? I just love that thing. So anyway, that's my air rammer, brought to you by Dr. Hugh. Yep. Snorkel. So anyway, I'll leave these here as a reminder, and you'll see that they will not fall apart, and I still won't be able to get them. All right, we got anything yet? No for Dr. Hugh. Well, we have questions. You have questions over there?
The customer is having issues cold starting on natural gas in Houston, Texas.
It's cold starting on natural gas in Houston, Texas. Several things come to mind. One, if everything else is fine, natural gas has a lot less BTU content. And I don't know what has he always been running on natural gas? I don't know. But the two key things is oil viscosity. If the oil viscosity is not correct, well, let me add 3 things. Oil viscosity, if it's electric start, how strong is the battery? Because it has to generate a spark. So if you're like, you're wearing all this, what do they call that gear? That stuff that people wear that, like, it was on the show Seinfeld. He's Gore-Tex, big old Gore-Tex thing. Oh, big coat. Remember that? And you can't pull. You might have to get somebody else to pull it. So it's generating spark. So you need to generate spark, which brings me to point number 3, which is probably the key. Your generator manufacturer may recommend 30 thousandths, 32 thousandths for your spark gap. I'd tighten up the spark gap to 20 thousandths. That'll give you a hotter charge, which will ignite it better. And so if the engine, and of course, that's like I said, if all the other parameters are correct, the engine's in good shape, everything else is fine, a squirrel didn't climb in the air filter, then you're good to go. So those 3 things, oil viscosity. Technically, if the weather that's down there in Houston now was the same for months, I'd recommend 0 W30. Now some will say, oh, I wouldn't do that. For starting, I would do it. But typically 5 W30. And so the generator's probably outside where it's cold, so the viscosities. But see, base oils will stay wherever they're at. A lot of people don't understand how oil viscosity works. The base number is the real viscosity of the oil. In other words, it could be just 5-weight oil. Well, they'll add a chemical to make it thicken to 30. So viscosity increases. So 5W30, make sure of that. Anything else you can think of there? Shawnee Cat? All right. So that's good. Yeah, cold weather. People often find out they have an issue when the weather turns cold. Works fine. What do you got, Mr. Producer Man?
This is more of a comment from Catherine S. She just says, I got my kit a few weeks ago. It is very nice, but I'm waiting on the gas line to be installed.
Oh, okay. Where's she out of? Okay. Proper purging. Let's see what else we have here. I may have, if you don't have one, we had a testimonial. I usually don't like giving out testimonials, even though we get a lot of them. We have one today that was really nice. Did you get that one, Mr. Producer? It was on your Slack. Okay. Do you have the S program on your phone? You can read it right off your phone. Oh, okay, cool. And let us know if you need any help hooking that up. I wonder when she ordered it, because we have a boatload going out today to Texas. Woo, daddy. Yeah, I put a flame one on there. Huh? I did a direct. Me? Yeah.
Okay.
Now with this, I can put a flame. See that? That wasn't good. Lost my stethoscope.
Are we ready for this question?
Sure.
Cough off air.
I'm falling to pieces over here.
Okay, this is from
Don't feel bad.
Christine.
Christine.
It might be Christian, but
Or Christian.
okay. He says I purchased a motor snorkel and 30 feet of 3.5-inch natural gas hose several years ago after a major hurricane left my neighborhood without power for nearly a month. I converted to a Honda Black Max portable. So years. This is just more.
Is there a question in any of this?
No, I don't believe there is a question.
Oh, there's not a question.
He's just complimenting you on your product.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that the one I sent you? Or it was sent to you?
Yes.
Yeah, he said, what was his main point?
Just keep my heat running while without power due to the ice storm. This is a great product. Easy to install and worth the time.
Now, that's good. That's nice. Can they hear you on the other side? Yes. I know sometimes the producers don't hear themselves on the, I don't know if it's because they don't want to or, but we'll stay here. We'll also be on tomorrow at 3. Today, we're going to do a very special show because of all the storms everywhere. We have them here in West Virginia, hour and a half away. There are trees down everywhere. People are really going through difficulty. So we thought in case there's questions there or down in Texas, any of those things, we'll just come back for a special episode, see if we have any way we can help people. So if anybody's watching at all, you can share with your friends and family that if they have questions about using a kit or about their generator, tell them to watch tomorrow at 3 p.m. And all they got to do is Google, not Google, but go on Facebook and type in U.S. Carb Clinic. I don't know what it's on our stuffer that we're sending out. We have a stuffer that it's on. Is that what they? I know, but do you know the search?
Well, it says Kit Center, US Carb Kit Center.
U.S. Carb Kit Center. But I know the appropriate one is on our flyer. On YouTube, it's all one word, U.S. Carburation. You don't have a mic on your... Oh. All right. Oh, here's one. I have a complete motor snorkel kit that I'm just getting around to installing. The problem is the motor snorkel part doesn't fit my carburetor. Oh, sorry about that. That can happen on occasion where manufacturers will change the design of the carburetor on us like that. It's like, because the probe we use has to go into the carburetor a certain direction, to make the choke work and everything. So sometimes we have to make modifications, which we do, and then we'll design a special snorkel for you. So if that's the problem, we'll send you out at no charge a replacement snorkel. And you just return yours, and there you go. And there you go. So, and of course our snorkels come with a lifetime guarantee because they are so well built. And let me see, here's a question from one of our customers. I like this one. When I start this generator, which is running on propane, tomorrow on natural gas, should it start the way it is set now, or do I need to adjust anything before I try? And so if it was running on propane, we usually recommend turning the load block screw, the calibrator. Every system has a calibrator, and it's usually out like 5 turns, whatever. You calibrate it to the machine. Once it's up and running nice, it's set there. You would typically loosen the nut, back it out maybe half, 3/4, no more than 1 turn. And it should be really in the ballpark. Just always be ready with these to fine tune towards the lean side. All right, lean is cool and clean. Efficient, cool and clean. So, good question. Oh man, same customer. Must be sending them to me instead of you. He's got my personal, message system. So Ken, K-E-N, I don't think he's talking about a dude, but a method. So can propane tanks freeze? I think I have that going on now. Yes, keep it out of the wind and snow. Maybe put it near the exhaust, if possible, to keep it warm. Okay? There you go. So, see here. What else do we have? Any more? Does this thing fall apart yet? Nope, still together. Atmosphere still. You just got to appreciate that. It's as if 300 pounds of steel is on this side and 300 pounds of steel is on that side. Pushing it together. I think that is just so cool. I'm fascinated. All right.
You have some viewers wanting you to do about 5 minutes of stand-up. They think you're funny.
I can do stand-up, but I'm not allowed any wife jokes. I had a good joke. What was that thing? Man, somebody remind me. I don't do stand-up. Well, I did have some stand-up stuff written, but I couldn't find it. But you're not serious. Somebody didn't say that, did they? On Facebook, do some stand-up. Well, I'm not that funny. Actually, I don't know if they can hear. They probably hear that, don't they? On a human note, that is my father's voice. That's from 25 years ago. We used to have the tape machines that record your calls when you're gone. Remember those days? And that was my dad. He would, if we weren't home, hey, is anybody home? So I found an old little tape and I clipped that off of there, and I thought, so it reminds me of my dad whenever it goes off. And I always say, no, I'm not home, I'm working. But he never listens. So, let's see. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Man, I can't find my stuff. I really had a good story for you I made up, but oh well. What was you saying? Just do Dr. Hugh. Come on. What's one of mine that you liked? Silence is deafening. Come on. That's my wife, like 3 doors down, that can't hear a word I say when she's right here. But if I guess I got a microphone, don't I? It's got to be one that you like. Should have. You know what? Tomorrow's show, I'll have some stand-up. I'll find my stand-up. I actually had stand-up, yeah. But, want me to find another question? What are you doing? I can't read your face. I can read sign language. I can't read lips. I can only read sign language. But that's only certain sign language. Let's hold the meat and potatoes for tomorrow. Okay. You never know. They may show up late. I don't mind it. It's up to you. I know, but... oh, man. What was that? Man, I had a good one. A really good one. All right. My producer wants me to hold it till tomorrow, so don't want me to bore the audience. Which is fine. What do we want to remind them of? We already said, let your friends, family know that we'll be on tomorrow at 3, and have questions ready. And, you know what? Before I go, maybe some of these have been on before. They can answer the question about how fast does the impulse from this ball make it to this ball? At what speed? So I got 5 steel balls. At what speed does that pass from there to there? We had an answer on it?
I can't remember the guy's name, but his answer was the speed of sound.
Ooh. So close, but that's not complete, see? I'd like to give it to you for that, for at least thinking it through. But I will say if you turn that in on a test, it would say incomplete answer, and I'm sorry, because there is. But you're really close. I mean, that's good. That's good. I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that. But maybe you'll think about it a little more and go, okay. But I actually gave you the answer earlier, if you didn't pick up on it. But sorry. Keep trying. You'll get it. Oh, and if somebody doesn't know, you get a free engine meter out of that. A really nice engine tachometer meter. Oh, I'm gonna put it over here. I like that side camera. That thing's really cool. I dig that. Oh well. You just wrap it around the spark plug wire and off she goes. I don't think I have anything else under here I was going to play with. Okay. Yeah. I guess that's the highlight of my show. And it's been great to be with you. I'm sorry about those dealing with the severe conditions. I hear a lot of the power is coming back on, so that's good to hear. And again, we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll relight the flame of knowledge. And so I guess the doctor is out. And as I always say, whatever you do, please try to be a good human. See you tomorrow. Take care.